Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share the messages that I get from Spirit and from all of our higher selves who are on this journey to love. And so I have a couple of updates from sporting events. So yesterday I was saying about the letter that came through was letter number 19. And this is from the Divine Love Letter books that I do that are all channeled messages. These are all channeled messages from people's twins, from people's higher selves, and future children, really anything that people want to get a message from to help them on their journey. And so the letter that I was guided to was letter 19. And then the Rumi Oracle yesterday, which was Sacred Union, was also number 19. And then in the Wimbledon, the tennis game, Federer won it, and he has 2 sets of twins. And he won it in 1 hour, 19 minutes. Now, England played their match yesterday in the World Cup against Colombia. And England won. And it was very down to the last. They had to do penalty shootout. And they won on the very last goal. So it was incredibly. It went right to the last. They kept getting extra time, penalty time. And so it was really, really nerve-wracking. But they got through because they won the last penalty. Now, just before the end of the match, they swapped on player number 19. And then right at the end, when they're all piling into each other to congratulate each other, the one person that stands back is player number 19. So it was just brilliant, because 19 was the number of Sacred Union from Rumi yesterday. So again, it was so just lovely confirmation to get from the universe again. And it's so special when it's on sporting events, because I think the dedication and hard work and perseverance the sports people have to put on and put into their skill and to their career is exactly what the universe is demanding of us, for these challenging and incredibly, it's all about having faith and belief, right? And when the commentators were talking about the football match, and when the manager came and they were talking, the team players were saying it's all down to the spirit of the team. It's all down to the faith and belief that we have in each other. And that was just so amazing. I was like, oh my God, this is just such a cool message from the universe again to say, keep on going, because you have to have faith and trust in your journey. The other thing is, I'm just going to say, I did a healing for a lady yesterday. I did a couple of healings yesterday, but this one, I saw him in his kitchen. And this is, again, to share, because if you're thinking, oh, what's my twin doing? They're in karmic situations and blah, 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 and a bit kind of like frustrated. Then what I saw was him in his kitchen, and he was, this is her twin, he was putting together a whiteboard. And it was very specific, a whiteboard, and he was like writing out a list of pros and cons. And he was saying to me basically that, he's afraid, he's basically afraid, of messing things up and making sure that, everything, fits into place. And so the healing was to do some heart chakra chanting, but also to give him the message that actually you don't need to plan anything. You have to trust and follow your heart, and everything else will fall into place. And anyway, so the song that came through was Living in a Box, but the song is very specific because it's about living in a cardboard box. Now, the symbology around that, again, is very powerful. Cardboard box, you can just burst out of the cardboard box. There is no, a cardboard box is very easy to get out of. So it is about the mind playing tricks on you to keep you in the box. So that was the first thing. I heard back from the lady. And this is when the power of your energies being able to talk to each other, and also, I guess, the telepathic connection is getting more and more stronger. because she said, I am totally amazed because one of the first conversations that they had about coming together was the fact that she would need to have a whiteboard to list out all the pros and cons of them coming together. And so she was kind of totally gobsmacked when his energy had shown me the whiteboard, because of course that is so specific and so, you know, just exactly what she needed at that time, because it just shows exactly what they're both going through. So it was very, very powerful. And so the message is that, you know, the society puts us into a cardboard box, right? Society says that we have to do things in a certain way and plays tricks with what our heart says, right? And so that is why this journey is all about seeing beyond the box, because the box is cardboard and it's up to you to burst out of that box. So that's the message. It's about having faith that you can burst out of the box and trusting in that. With that, I'm going to recommend a video by Alison Coe. She is a quantum healer and she does hypnotism. And she talks about the sessions that she has. And she's talked about the event. And she does she basically shares the hypnosis sessions that she does. And I watched it, somebody sent it to me and I watched it, and it's so incredibly on point to all of the letters that I've channeled for people around the event. And also in it, she talks about an experience. So there's two clients, their stories are their sessions are incredibly synchronistic. Both of them are talking about blue people. Now, when I heard that, I was like, I knew at some point this was going to come up. So when I started so I do past life regression, future life regression. So I also do what Alison Coe does. And when I did my training for that, the person that I was on the course with said, can I do a future life or do a para-life, future life meditation and session with you? And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. But this was like way back, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I was just sort of starting out on this. I'd just done I'd just done a shaman course. I'd done my Reiki 1 and 2. So I was kind of just starting out, you know. Anyway, in this session, and I remember it because I was talking, so he hypnotized me and it was me talking. And I was talking about blue people, and that I was going and talked about this blue crystal land and all of this stuff. And I have just I've always had that in the back of my mind, but never really explored it. Anyway, in the sessions that Alison Coe is talking about, they are talking about the blue people and this kind of crystal land. And so I was like, oh my God, I knew at some point this was going to come up. And this is this is what's so amazing, is that when people have healings with me as well, you know, the things that come up will maybe come up again like years later. And you're like, oh my God, that piece of the jigsaw has just pieced together. And it's kind of like, you know, it's just exciting when it happens, because you're like, oh my God, I know that now. I know why I was shown that all those years ago, and I know why it had to piece together now, because any time before then wouldn't have made any sense to me, and it probably would have blown my brain a bit because I wasn't ready for it. At the time, I just thought, oh, that's nice. That's like little Smurf people, and just sort of made a joke of it. You know, I was just kind of like, oh, wow, Smurfs. But now I'm like, oh, wow, that's so cool. It's like parallel lives that we go to heal ourselves. So I would highly recommend that Alison Coe video. I'll put it in the description box. Incredibly, and also talking about the telepathy. I mean, you know, the fact that in this healing yesterday, it was a whiteboard. And she came back and said that was one of the first things that had happened between them, was saying about a whiteboard. I was like, oh, wow. And it just shows me how powerful that connection is getting now. It's getting more and more strong all the time, which is all part of what Alison's Co video is talking about as well. So it kind of like, Alison Co's video is very good at putting contextualizing everything that comes through in the channeled letters that I do and the healings that I do for people and all of that. It kind of goes very well to give much more background content. Okay, so with that, I'm going to read letter 76 because this is the one that wants to come out today. So, letter 76. I want you to know that you are everything. You are the one that everything revolves around, the one that brings my dark into the light, the one that turned the light switch inside of me on when for so long I had been living in the shadow of darkness, not being able to understand or value the true meaning of life, the true meaning of what it really means to love with all my heart, to discover the unfathomable truth that we are here to learn how to love. You are the one who taught me that. Show me that the only real thing that matters to me is you. I know that I have to work things out. I know I'm in the middle of my own journey, but trust me when I say the end of the map comes home to you. Trust in our divine map. Okay, so trust in the divine map. And no matter when the pieces of the jigsaw come together, believe that they will. So, letter 76. My divine being of light, the one that completes my soul and enlightens me. There is not a second that goes by where I do not cry out to be with you again. I want to reach out and touch you so that you know I am always here, so that you don't suffer thinking I'm not thinking about you or wanting for our future to be together. I want it every bit as much as you do. Please know that this is our truth. We have made this life pact together, and now is our chance to fulfill it. No more looking back in anger, only looking forward in love. True, true love will win. Okay, well, how cool is that? True love will win. No more looking back in anger. That's also sung by Oasis, who is the song Wonderwall is the first song that I put in this book. And so, again, a lovely connection. Okay, so you're my Wonderwall. So, letter 76. All of the seas I wanted to caress, cherish, and circumvent my life so I can be with you. I want to be with you every minute of every day. I want to create our life together, create our future children together, create our happy family together, create. That's what I want to do. I spent too long stagnating, not making a decision, not being true to myself, to you, not honouring our love, which is the meaning of everything. I want to honour you. I want to be with you. I want to grow old with you. I want to love you every single second. Okay, now if you watched yesterday's read, I'd highly recommend you watch it. I did an energy read. The first card they got in their headspace was indecision. Look at this letter. I've spent too long stagnating, not making a decision, not being true to myself. Everything that was reflected in the energy read yesterday is in this letter. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so stay on the journey, stay on the path. Remember, it is hard work. We got the 8 of Pentacles today, but it's about staying focused on the goal. Stay like a sports person, you know, never stop believing. All right, hope that helps. Take care. Bye.